ladies and gentlemen, the Empress of Umukwata is here. If you out me, I out you.
I just don't want you to be traumatized ever in your life. So, I just give you all the love.
No,
Good morning, Rufy on fire.
I've got to fetch what I can't be traumatized.
Oh my God. Good morning, how are you guys? I know, nice to see you guys.
I don't know what
Friday,
they're talking about.
Friday morning.
I don't know what they're talking about. TGIF is my mood.
Thank God it's Friday. Both of you, you've been wearing this brook. Please, Ojy, please.
Yes, we were given by Fidelity Bank. It's just for like the month of October, for the girl child breast cancer and all of that.
Very good one, very good.
Thank you. Yeah, there it is.
And we wear it with pride because breast cancer is a very critical issue, especially in Africa where we don't get proper screening on time and the treatment and so forth. So we wear our pink ribbons with pride.
Trust me, I wish I could wear it in solidarity because it's really a big scourge. Yep.
Well, all right. Well done. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending, focusing on reactions trailing the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the Indigenous Peoples of Biafra, which is set to commence today, Friday, October 24th. The trial was adjourned on Thursday after Kanu dismissed his entire team of senior advocates. The dramatic courtroom development came as Kanu declared his intention to represent himself. The courtroom was thrown into surprise. Kanu's lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, SAN, subsequently announced his withdrawal alongside other prominent senior advocates. When Justice Omotosho had invited Kanu to open his defense, he began by challenging the court's jurisdiction to continue the trial, but the judge overruled him, insisting that the case must proceed. This dramatic development follows Kanu's earlier notice listing 23 individuals, including high-profile government officials, as witnesses. Meanwhile, shortly after the trial, armed police arrested activist Omoyele Sowore outside the Federal High Court. Sowore had attended the trial of Nnamdi Kanu and was reportedly escorted by security operatives who insisted that they were acting on instructions from the Commissioner of Police.
So you said the Commissioner of Police said you should arrest me?
Yes, we are not
over what?
Bring you to the office.
By force?
Is it by force? I'm not holding you.
No, well, you said that, so why you then have... So you didn't bring a letter of invitation now?
Somebody, sorry.
That's not your business. When did you start telling people how to wear their clothes? Even though you know what you are doing is bad, so...
I'm not doing anything bad.
No problem.
What's your family?
Well, we had to stand for you when they oppressed you, so... So if you are standing for oppression, you know the problem.
Just follow us.
Well, following Sowore's arrest, police spokesman Benjamin Hundeyin held a press conference saying that Sowore was arrested for allegedly directing some of the detained Free Nnamdi Kanu protesters to violate a subsisting court order that barred demonstrators from converging in certain areas of Abuja. Let's take a look.
The 13 people that were arrested previously all gave their statements, and there is a constant in all of their statements. Every one of them mentioned that one Omoyele Sowore led them into the restricted area in contravention of the court order. So it will be most unfair to charge some people to court and leave the person that led them to commit that more like their leader, the lead protester who told them and took them into the restricted area. And that's why in the spirit of fair play and to ensure that justice is served, Omoyele Sowore was arrested today, and like the others too, he wouldn't spend time with us. He wouldn't spend up to 24 hours with us. Once we wrap up the charges, he's going to be prosecuted. In fact, if everything goes right, our plan is to ensure that he is prosecuted today. He goes to court today.
All right, I'll take some reactions on X. This person wrote, so they suddenly realized their blunder. Arrested Kanu's brother and lawyer, left out the main organizer of the protest, then remembered, oh, right, Sowore's an activist. Now it's all damage control disguised as fairness. Classic medicine after death. Well, Saddam wrote, the Nigeria police force acted within its mandate, ensuring fairness, accountability, and balance before the law. No one is above due process, not even activists. If the goal is justice, then the police deserve commendation for maintaining law and order while allowing the legal process take its course. Finally, another ex-user wrote, so now, protesting is gradually becoming a crime. In the Nigerian state, I see that the government is really taking us for granted. What I'm very sure is that a day will come when Nigerians will pull out in millions to say enough is enough. And that's the rhetoric. I mean, it's the fact that the police had come out to bar some certain areas, and now they are saying that Sowore led those people that are detained, including Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and brother. And so that is why they've arrested Sowore at this moment. I haven't seen if they have released him because, as you heard Benjamin Hundeyin yesterday saying that he was going to be charged and hopefully be arraigned. Ayo, your thoughts on it?
All right. So one of the things that we've decried a number of times is the intolerance of this administration to dissenting voices, and also put that side by the Nigerian citizens' right to peaceful protest. Recall that we'd also said that the court order had been obtained, but some of the protesters, some lawyers there had said that they didn't see any court order. And if indeed there was a court order, they had said there were some specific areas in Abuja that was not supposed to be, where protests shouldn't happen. One, Aso Villa, the National Assembly, and a few other places like that. What this demonstrates with regards to Omoyele Sowore and the other, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, is that people would then become afraid to exercise their right to peaceful protest. And in a democracy, as we keep on saying, it doesn't look good, it is not right. And we believe that as a true Democrat, the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration should not be one whereby there's a lack of respect for the constitutionally guaranteed rights of its citizens. And that's what we're calling for. If they're going to arrest Omoyele Sowore, they should arrest everybody that went out to protest, so that we would really say that they're very serious about it. Yes. But I think it's very important that we keep on speaking up for this. We will not sit and watch whilst the rights of the citizens are eroded. I know that Omoyele Sowore will not sit this out. And some people have said he's going to cash out because by the time he sues or counter-sues for damages, maybe they'll hear it. But I think it should be tested in the courts as to the right or the extent of the right of the citizen to protest. We cannot keep silent or keep the people's mouths shut. Like one of the ex-users said, if we do this, there's only as much as can push people to the wall. Let us take the example of Nepal and some other countries where the young people have become so tired and now resorted to even violent extremities to send home their points. Let us not get to that point. Let every Nigerian citizen's voice be heard as long as it is done in the right way. They broke no laws, were not violent. In fact, it was the police that tear-gassed them very early in the morning. We mustn't have this on our watch.
So, I mean, those areas that they talked about, they touched on, including Aso Rock Villa, National Assembly. I don't think that I saw any video because I did monitor the protests. I don't think I saw them in those areas at all. They started from the Hilton and then they were all around. But I wanted to just touch on also the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is going to defend himself. I'll take a post on X and I'll come to you because I know that you want to speak. This person wrote on X, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has every right to defend himself, but it is often wiser to let a lawyer handle the battle. The courtroom is not a place for emotion, but for skill, and a good lawyer can turn rights into real results. You wanted to add something quickly on that, then I go to Rufai.
Very quickly. My confusion, which I hope the police can clarify for us, is that when the first information report was released for those 13 who were arrested, their offences included criminal conspiracy, disobedience of a lawful order, inciting disturbance, and disturbance of public peace. However, now, and there was also the issue around singing war cries. But now the main issue for Sowore is they're saying that it is contravening the court order. So the concern is that all of their offences are different. If you get what I mean. So where's the uniformity in, they're being given the same treatment. However, it's not clear what the real issue is.
I think the real issue is that they came out to protest despite a court order, right? Is that what you were saying?
So what I'm saying is that the others, their main issues were inciting public disturbance and they were singing war songs, right? However, for sure, it's contravening the court order. However, when it came to contravening the court order, the police repelled them. They used tear gas. They say they didn't fire bullets, but they didn't actually get to the place that would allow them to contravene the court order, is the point that I was trying to make.
If we're talking about due process, at the end of the day, we have to respect court orders. And this is what Sowore is fighting for as well. Your thoughts on Nnamdi Kanu defending himself?
Okay, but I'll start with Sowore first. But you also have to respect the Constitution. You have a right of peaceful, assemblage in the Constitution. Let me take you back to 2007, 2008. That was what Gani Fawemi went to court to do in the Buhari case, where it was said, and the Supreme Court said that, please, you do not have any right to stop any protest. You don't even need police permits. So you see this colonial relic called the Nigerian police force, which always thinks force is everything, and makes these allegations against the protest. I think when you're asking who disrupted public peace, it is the police that disrupted public peace. Because when they started firing tear gas and causing unnecessary pollution and harm to a lot of people. And there were allegations. Anyway, he has debunked that they didn't fire live rounds. So it's the police that are disrupting public peace in this regard. I think we'll see how this case will pan out. So Sowore is not the first time out to cases like this. As regards to Nnamdi Kanu, he has the right to be able to defend himself. If that's the path he's chosen, I don't think it's a wise path anyway. But if that's the path he's chosen, be my guest.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how the case goes. It's going to start today, Friday. And I believe they gave him about 90 days, or he requested for 90 days to close. What a dramatic turn of events. Now, we're continuing our coverage on the recent allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. On Thursday, presidential spokesperson Daniel Bwala met with the leadership of the Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria as part of the federal government's ongoing dialogue with religious leaders. The engagement aims to strengthen collaboration with faith-based institutions and counter what the presidency describes as false narratives of religious persecution in the country. The Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria has membership in over 52 countries worldwide. The meeting follows similar engagements with the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. Daniel Bwala stated that the engagements became necessary following what he described as a coordinated misinformation campaign by certain U.S. congressmen and international media.
Khan had stated that they believe there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. We didn't go there to change their opinion or to change their position. We had a meeting with PFN. PFN said, we welcome you. Our preliminary position is that of our parent body, and we cannot deviate from them. We did not seek to change the opinion of PFN. So let it not be misconstrued, most respectfully, that our visit is aimed at changing the position that religious bodies have had or have held or are holding. No. Our engagement is so we can deepen dialogue. Our engagement is so we can promote religious tolerance and cohesion. Our engagement is so we can get to synergize a common front against the evil of insecurity in our society.
I think this is such a commendable move by the presidency to deepen dialogue. If you recall yesterday, we took the story about Daniel Bwala and Khan actually clarifying their statement, saying that they maintain that they didn't, trivialize the Christian genocide in Nigeria. And it's good to see that they are engaging with all the religious bodies to make sure that they're able to deepen this sort of dialogue and synergy between both of them.
This is going to be my quickest comment.
Go ahead.
What's the essence of deepening dialogue when people are still being killed? The best way to deepen dialogue is stop the killing.
That's what we highlighted yesterday. That is exactly what we said yesterday.
Absolutely. I commend the government for now going to engage the Christian leaders. Right. I think it's important. The good thing about this, whilst they are strategizing, is to actually hear. Mm-hmm. One of the things, if you want to know what's happening, listen to the primary stakeholders, and that's what they're doing. Yeah. And that's why I'm glad that finally, and I don't think we should have gotten to this point where now that we want to be listed as a country of concern, we now want to go all the time that the media in Nigeria was reporting these incidents. Why didn't they take this effort? perhaps we would not even be where we are now, trying to lobby the US to say that we're not a country of particular concern. But better late than never. So great that he's doing this, but most importantly is that can they take the feedback? And I pray that these bishops are going to be honest with them.
Yes.
Let them, because I can hear them say, oh, we are all good. Say the truth.
Yes.
What is really happening to your people?
Exactly.
And then let the government take the feedback and work on it. That's what Nigerians want to see.
Fantastic. More on security. Meanwhile, Niger State Governor Umar Bago has declared a state of war against persistent bandit attacks, announcing his administration will not negotiate with criminals or pay ransom, as he believes paying ransom turns kidnapping into a business venture. Instead, he has called on residents to take up arms and defend themselves and their property. The announcement was made by the governor's special advisor on print media, Aisha Wakaso, following the governor's condolence visit to the recently attacked local government areas of the state, eliciting reactions. And I'll take some posts on X. This person wrote, Governor Bago, this statement is an admission of failure, not leadership. You are shielded by the full power of the state, the police, the army, the DSS, and civil defense, yet you tell helpless citizens to defend themselves. Your duty is to protect them, not abandon them. If the government can't guarantee the safety of its people, then it has forfeited its moral right to lead. Do the honorable thing, fix the system, or step aside for someone who will. Tolu wrote, well, every ransom paid fuels a parallel economy for criminals. By refusing to negotiate, the government is cutting off their business model. Now it's on them to actually combat and arrest the bandits. This is it. I mean, the huge conversation about whether or not we should be permitted to arm ourselves or carry guns has been a debate for a while. I mean, in the United States where it's allowed, we've seen, I wouldn't say that's the reason for the killings, but what are your thoughts with what Umar Bago has stated now about
There's so many different dimensions, yes. I mean, gosh, the first is that he's not the first leader to call for self-help. However, we need to be careful about this narrative around self-help, because when we see self-help happen, we've seen so many instances. For example, there was a group of vigilantes in Edo State. You remember those hunters, they were killed. There are several groups that come up and call themselves self-styled vigilantes, and there have been several skirmishes and instances that have happened, and lives have been lost. So I think we need to be very careful in telling people to help themselves in instances of insecurity, because it can go horribly wrong. Having said that, we do know that payment of ransom is illegal in Nigeria. But if we are saying it is illegal, then what is the support we are giving to our citizens to ensure that if these instances happen, that citizens are retrieved alive and in a good state? So first of all, if the kidnapping is said to be happening, then what are we doing to be able to recover and protect our people? But beyond that, the kidnapping should not even be happening. So how are the states being secured? We've said it several times that the governors are not helpless. Fine, they don't have the federal might to be able to discharge officers to the various areas, but what they do have, and I know we often take it lightly, but we can't underplay the role of non-kinetic strategies. For example, we just saw the story you took of Daniel Bwala engaging in conversation, deepening engagement and conversation with various stakeholders in the state. I think a lot of that needs to happen, because beyond the narrative of terrorism, banditry, we know that there's a lot of communal clashes and communal conflicts that's happening as well. However, beyond that, I think Umar Bago, who we love so much, and the rest of the governors of Nigeria need to start getting more creative with regards to how they're going to deal with insecurity in their states. Yesterday, we saw them at the NEC meeting talking about police reform and reform in police training and so forth. But we're not seeing enough pressure with regards to state police, because it seems this is where the conversation needs to go. However, each time it's brought to the agenda, for some strange reason, it's pushed to the back burner. Oh, yes, people are worried that governors will become mini emperors and all of that. But at this juncture that we've reached, I think it's far more important for us to protect lives and property first, and then figure out how to strengthen our institutions to ensure that we don't create some form of mini authoritarianism through the creation of state police.
Is the main point. Did you mention the situation in Edo State where there was a young girl who was kidnapped as well? Did you just say that?
I mentioned that group of self-proclaimed vigilantes who had killed the hunters at the beginning of the year.
I believe that Umar Bago has said that he's going to, initiate about, I believe, 10,000, security personnel, and that's a measure that he wants to take. But, speaking about insecurity, it's just becoming, and I wanted to mention the Edo State situation because there's a video of the mother who is still pleading for the release of her daughter. And I just wanted to highlight that I am following up on that story, and I believe that the security forces are also doing their best to try to get her out of their really sad situation in Edo State.
Real quickly, I disagree with Farmer Bago.
Yes.
What he said
about arms, taking up
what
arms.
He says is in contravention of the Constitution.
Yes.
Section 14, subsection 2 says the state must provide security for those that have donated their sovereign to the states. It is the state's responsibility. If you say people should arm themselves, then you are abdicating the role of the sovereignty. So please, the state should do their work. That's why we pay taxes, and that's why we do everything we can to submit our sovereignty to the state.
Many have argued that is another form of chaos if we all have to
it's anarchy, honestly.
I'm American, so it's kind of
America has laws, and that's why we always emphasize respect for the rule of law at all levels, because in a nation where we're still struggling with that, it'll be very difficult to legislate on that. I don't think we're ready for that.
And even with their laws, look at everything going wrong with gun violence.
As strong as their laws are, look at that. Nigeria is not ready.
There's a lot of gun violence in the United States, you're right. Shall we take our good news report now? I always love to do this. Well, the Lagos State government has relaunched an initiative for residents to get paid for turning in their household waste for money as part of a plan to boost recycling practices and keep the city clean. The initiative, called Cash for Trash, is what the state government is calling a win for your wallet and a win for the city.
Every Thursday, I'm watching I don't think I'm really. I never really. Go back to Tower. I'm not that anymore. Can't Bali. Echo Baliwa today.
All right, this is such a great initiative. The goal of this initiative is to reduce the impact of climate change on the state, reduce environmental pollution, improve waste sorting, and create a practice of recycling for citizens across local government areas. Well, the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, in a post on X, announced that the scheme would pay Lagos residents every Thursday for bringing in their recyclables. This is the kind of good news I love. I don't know why you're cracking up, but I always say, you're going to get paid for turning in your trash.
Yes.
Ayo, 30 seconds.
Excellent. I was saying that, the other organizations already do this, so the government can actually amplify the work that they do and support. I'm looking forward to a point where we will also adopt what they do in other countries, whereby you have different bags that determine which waste is going and which can be recycled. I mean, it can really be progressive, but I love that they're listening to the people, and hopefully we'll see an end to persistent flash floods in Lagos. And we can truly praise and say, Ekoni bad.
I always say Ekoni bad, regardless. Well, what would I say? Congratulations, Tokunbo Wahab, on this amazing feat. Well, let's take our story now under entertainment in the United States, where former President Barack Obama has announced that he's honoring the legendary Afrobeat artist Fela Kuti in a new podcast series titled Fela Kuti, Fear No Man, produced by Higher Ground, which is the production company owned by Obama and his wife, Michelle Obama. Well, in a new video posted on his social media account on Wednesday to announce the series, Obama described Fela as a musical genius from Nigeria who mixed art with activism, urging fans to tune into the 12-episode podcast. Let's take a look.
You may have heard our documentary podcast last year about Stevie Wonder, called The Wonder of Stevie. Well, I want to be the first to tell you about the next podcast from Higher Ground that just came out. It's about the legendary Fela Kuti. He is a musical genius from Nigeria who made some music that I really love, combining funk, jazz, and soul into a whole new genre called Afrobeat. It's a beautiful show about a unique figure in musical history who mixed art with activism. So, check out Fela Kuti, Fear No Man, right now on Autumn, and wherever you get your podcasts.
The legendary Fela Anikulapo Kuti is live, really. This episode is currently on its 4th episode, and it's expected to feature members of the Kuti family too, including Fela's children, Yeni and Femi Kuti, as well as his grandson, Made Kuti. I mean, I can't wait to see this. And you know Barack Obama has always loved Afrobeats. You're going to say something.
When Fela was fighting and advocating for this country, a lot of people, enemies, hated him, said all sorts. Today, all the enemies that hated Fela, they are nowhere to be found. Fela's legacy continues to live on. Currently, there's a show also put together by the French government at the EcoBag Center here on Ozumban, by the way. I went to see it. It was wonderful. It was a full-on, collection series, and, all the display of the memorabilia, all the clothes, the pants, and everything Fela wore is right there. You can still go watch the show. It's totally free.
Fantastic.
And this around the celebration period, because this will have been around the time his birthday.
15th of October. Yes, 15th of October. It will have been 89 years. 89.
But the legacy of this man lived on. He shook the world. So when you are doing something good and people are criticizing and saying all sorts, your name will live on. But those that criticize you, there will be nowhere to be found.
Fantastic.
All the soldiers and everybody that beat Fela then, the military that ostracized them, are they as famous as Fela in death today? That's a poser for them.
Well said. Rufy on fire. Fela Anikulapo Kuti lives on. More under entertainment. Grammy Award-nominated singer Davido on Thursday took to Instagram to announce that he held a private meeting at the Élysée Palace in Paris with the President of France, Emmanuel Macron. Davido posted photographs of the meeting showing President Macron. He was accompanied to the meeting by his own associates, including Cubana chief priest and his manager, Asa Asika. Davido didn't share too many details about the meeting, but captioned the post, "It was an honor meeting Emmanuel Macron and sharing our vision for a better world." Davido also took a moment to introduce President Macron to his wife, Chioma, on a video call. Let's take a look.
Mr. President, baby, say hi to the President of Paris, France.
Hello.
Oh, hello, how are you? My wife.
Everyone is singing. I'm not to forget to Ebezina, Nzogu, Zogu. Davido is such a superstar. We know that this meeting comes as Davido was recently appointed by his uncle, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, as the chairman of Osun State Sports Trust Fund, a move to raise the funds needed to rehabilitate the state's sports sector. As we see it, Davido is increasingly emerging as a cultural ambassador for Nigeria beyond his music. Congratulations, Davido. Really huge accomplishment with this synergy also with the Sports Trust Fund, which I think it will really go a long way to bring in more investment in Osun State. But I'm curious to know what they discussed in Paris with Emmanuel Macron. Because you know that Emmanuel Macron loves Afrobeats as well, and he's been here so many times. I mean, 2 or 3 times.
Celebration. It's instructive that you took the Fela story just before Davido.
Absolutely.
We're talking about culture. 100%. But we talk about cultural icons and how culture is very influential, especially when we have superpowers, cultural superpowers like Davido. Fela was such, and he had such influence across the globe. And it's great to see that did not die with his generation.
Right.
That we now see young people like Davido who are using their cultural appeal to actually do something significant on the global scene. So really great to see that. And I love that Macron has continued to keep his Nigerian links.
Right, Nigeria. And he speaks Pidgin.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good to see. Let's promote this. Let's not, let's keep on promoting young Nigerian stars who are doing great on the global scene.
Absolutely. Congratulations, superstar Davido, huge Afrobeat star. Shall we, more on ambassadors, shall we now take this video featuring Nigerian football icon Okocha, who was filmed showcasing his dance moves, including his signature leg over at an event in Lagos. The football legend was called to the dance floor by Juju and Fuji artist Segun Johnson. Let's take a look.
Like play, multi take over. When me need JJ to remove phone in leg over. You go, like play, multi take over. See, when we come in my corner, I'm sorry, can I multi phone in leg over. Multi phone in leg over. I'm fed up with motion power. Phone in leg over. Phone in leg over. Let me JJ Okocha. Phone in leg over. Just like Okocha. The phone in leg over. Okocha. Phone in leg over. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right.
Well, me too, but for your Rufai. Who want the leg over? Can we show Rufai who want the leg over? So much fun here. Before you wanted to add something on this.
Absolutely. You know, and gosh, you look at Nigeria and you look at how much Nigeria and Nigerians have to offer the world. Whether it be from Okocha to Fela, we had Davido, and the list is endless. And you look at the positive stories that come out of that, and sometimes you just want to beg God and say, God, please, let everything else just work. Because the potential in this country listen, Okocha dancing will bring joy to my day any day, especially with the Agbada. You didn't let that get in the way.
Can I just pay tribute to Segun Johnson?
Yes, please.
Segun Johnson, at Segun Johnson, has been said, when he praises you, you can take all your investments and just, give to him. But, this shows the talent, the immense talent. And that's why, let me just say that this administration is big on promoting culture.
All right.
So I'm
well, congratulations to all our ambassadors, really. Well, thank you all for your contribution on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Just like